Kevin, could you give the Amazon view on an edge? I know there are different things that you do within the edge within Amazon.
In the context of streaming media, the edge is referred to the point which the content is delivered to the end user. So it's the location closest to the user where the content is cached and delivered, reducing the distance that data have to travel to improve the quality of the user experience. Traditionally, the edge was provided usually by large data centers, but with the growth of cloud computing and increase of demands for lower latency, higher quality of streaming, the edge is becoming more and more decentralized and distributed. So this allows content to be cached and delivered from multiple locations closer to the end users and provide more reliable and efficient services.
Okay, and if you look at, because I know Amazon is doing a couple of things, you have CDN, you have cloud. I know you guys are also integrating with telecom operators to get even deeper. So every point that you, but yeah, basically have different layers of edges in your case then, is that correct?
We have local zones. Local zones are type of AWS infrastructure deployment that place compute, storage, database, and other select services closer to the larger population or IT centers. This enables customers to deliver applications that require single-digit millisecond latency to the end users. And then we have wavelength. So AWS wavelength zones are AWS infrastructures that deploys embedded in AWS compute and storage services within the telco provider data center at the edge of their 4G or 5G networks. And in addition, we have outposts. AWS Outposts is a family of fully managed solutions delivering AWS infrastructures and services to any on-prem services or edge locations. This means the customer could have AWS hardware where they need it on whether it's on-prem and connect their hardware like they would in a AWS region.
Pankaj, from a distance standpoint, from your standpoint, how do you look at it?
As a content provider, and I think my definition kind of matches with Kevin's, because, and especially for MySpace as well too, which is not MySpace, a social network, MySpace of the media streaming, sorry. For delivering content to the end users, the edge for us is the point that is closest to the end user, where we can affect change either directly or indirectly to kind of improve performance. And primarily we affect change indirectly because the points of distribution are something that we partner with different partners. So CDNs are a good example. So we work with them to directly or indirectly kind of affect change from a QA point of view. But then we also have our own Disney Edge. So we have our own direct control with respect to the hardware where it is deployed. And so we can affect change directly through that aspect as well too. And then generally with respect to where the edge is available, like physically, it is pretty much everywhere. If you're looking at, if you're generally at home, your home devices are connected to the edge, which is either at your data centers, or if you're an open cache provider, then you are running your cache nodes or edge nodes at the ISP's data center. But if you are some device manufacturers could also provide a cache node or an edge node with the end users as well too. So it could be sitting next to your router as well. So there are many different kind of like physical locations where your edge could be, but then based on that, the capabilities will vary as well too.